So hello again. This video is going to be about a few different things. So we'll do the fun stuff first. Fun stuff is there is now a wrestling ambulance, the slambulance, that is fit to the scale. It's a little fractionally large, but 1/12 scale vehicles do not fit in Marvel Legends generally. Uh, if you've ever bought die-cast stuff from like Costco, you know that it's kind of painful when it doesn't fit. But this is pretty good, and it's just realistic enough, so it works. Comes with this stretcher and some other little accessories, and it's cheap. It's only $40. So good luck finding one. Got the Spidey Retro Wave. So here we have Spidey and the Green Goblin in their moment after the Goblin has murdered Gwen Stacy. One of my favorite moments in comics. Just for the raw hate of it, which is so rare as far as the characters are concerned. This Spidey, there's been some. I just watched some great reviews of this figure, but the one thing that they don't comment on is that the rotten ankles still do not crunch forward enough. You cannot get him in a squatting position. And that's also due to the toes, too. There's no articulation at the toes, so he is never going to squat at the Chrysler building the way we used to get the Toy Biz version to do. And that really, really annoys me. I guess we're still going to have to wait or use Toy Biz figures for backup. I've sold all my Toy Biz figures to finance these guys. But, so the other thing we have going on here is another wrestling accessory, the cage. What do they call this thing? The collision cage. And I wanted a way to display all my Spider-Man villains, and I thought this is kind of fun to have all these guys locked up for some reason or other. They must have fallen prey to somebody's plan. I thought maybe it would be Reed Richards arranging this, because there's no more recidivist villain in the Marvel Universe than a Spider-Man villain. They just keep getting back on the streets and then locked up again. It's exhausting, right? I've reverted back to using... I sold my two. I had to rebuy the lizard because that BAF lizard is horrible. It's too big. And it's absurd clothing. Lab jacket. I mean, they don't make lab jackets in 36X, It's just, it's ridiculous. So, there they are. Got Silvermane on a Ultron body, as was their intention, I guess. Busy tormenting the lizard. New version Electro, etc., etc. Doc Ock is wearing a secondary market wired lab coat. I think when I sold my other Toy Biz Doc Ock, he had the lab coat from one of the box set versions. So that's the fun stuff. This is what you can do with some of this wrestling accessories. But just a brief word of annoyance. You can turn off the video now if you don't want to hear me bitching. But what's everybody on the secondary market overpaying for everything? I just want to let you know you were killing this hobby. You were proving to Mattel and Hasbro that you were willing, especially Hasbro, that you were willing to overpay for everything, and that's why they're raising the prices, because they can. And it's just stupid, I can't even get the words out. Stan Lee, $25. That should have been a mail away or something. That should have been a BAF. But they can get $25 for it because you're going to pay it, and you're going to pay double that on the secondary market. And I can understand when it's a Moon Knight or something like that, maybe. But I'm watching people pay upwards of $200 for the Storm Thunderbird set, and that's not even out yet. It's not like you're paying money to get it sooner. You're not. You're not getting it sooner. You're getting it at the same time as everybody else. So why don't you look for a bargain or something? And don't tell me you're overpaying because you can, because you're not poor. Fuck you. You've already heard that from me in the past. Overpaying for this stuff is just stupid. These are off-the-shelf toys. They're not hot. They're not hot toys. They're not Japanese limited editions. They're off-the-shelf at Walmart, Target. Give me a break. You know, stop overpaying. Stop ruining our hobby. Because the same kind of people, maybe even your parents, maybe your grandparents, ruined their hobbies in the '80s with baseball cards, overpaying for baseball cards, and all the gimmicks that came later to get you to buy them and spend 6 times what they were worth initially. And you found out they weren't worth anything because there was millions of them printed. And those idiots moved over to comic books and did the same thing to comic books. 6 different variant covers of a Marvel book, of an X-Men book. You know, and then they found out they weren't worth anything either. You know, that hobby crashed. Now it's corporate comics because they just couldn't sustain themselves. You know, it's just stop being stupid. And if you want to make money in these things, you know, day trade, man, day trade. These are toys. Leave the toys for people who enjoy them. You know, sooner or later this is going to crash, or it's going to be $30 a figure. You know, we're already creeping up on 25, and at $20 with no BAF, you know, it's really disappointing. And I know that, you know, the hobby's not going away anytime soon, but we've gone through lulls with Marvel Legends before. It's been years, 4 or 5 years, with Hasbro lowering the quality. So now maybe they're going through another thing where they're going to raise the quality but now charge us a premium. If you ever see on a toy box it says collector's wave, run the other way, because what that means is that it's their way of announcing that they're overcharging you. Well, it's for collectors. We're going to overcharge you. You can get a Titan Heroes one for the same price, and that's, you know, 4 times the plastic. Give me a break. You know, they're overcharging adults because they can, and for some reason it's very peculiar. I've noticed this over the last 20 years, and I've been collecting Marvel Legends for 20 years. Although I sold all my Toy Biz once to finance these guys, and that is, kids are not really into these 6-inch ones. I'm always really surprised in a store if I see a kid buying 6-inch line like this. But the 6-inch line does appeal to adults for some reason. It appealed to me. And I had Migos back in the 70s, so this is like a couple of inches shorter. But, you know, I'm glad they're making as many characters as they are. You know, I would have been very surprised if we'd gotten a Gwen Stacy with Toy Biz. But, Mary Jane and all that. But you know, it's getting stupid. So that's enough of my ranting, I guess. I think that's all I had to say. Just a little prophetic warning about the direction things are heading. And it'll be unfortunate when it finally does collapse. You know. And I can't tell who these new people are who are overpaying for this stuff. Some of them seem like they've been collecting a very short time, like they just started and they're playing catch up. But you know, you want to overpay for old stuff? That's great. And let collectors like me who've been around for a while cash in to finance the new stuff. But don't overpay for something that's not even out yet. Don't be stupid. They make these things in the tens of thousands. You know? There's no reason for it. And all you're doing is encouraging the manufacturer to raise the prices. Hasbro and Mattel claim that they don't pay attention to the secondary market. That's bullshit. They know just what's going on. In the areas where they don't care, they don't, you know, remanufacture figures. In the areas where they do care about the money, it's all about the bottom line, is where they make these adjustments. That's why you got to pay $380 for a Sentinel, because they can. Because the Sentinel should have been a shelf figure. Maybe a tough sell to Walmart, but I'm looking at some of the toys in Walmart and Target, and some of them are friggin' huge. You know, there's a new Indominus Rex Jurassic Park dinosaur, and it's gigantic. The box is 2 feet long. That could have been a Sentinel. They would have bought it. But they're not going to try to sell it at $380. Anyway. Getting very weary when I have to deal with other collectors to get stuff like this Moon Knight business. I really just want to go to the store and get one off the shelf or order it online like I have been. Walgreens had been very good about orders. And now the scalpers have figured out, they're doing the bot thing. And they're buying all of them. Fuck those people. So anyway, good luck finding what you're looking for. And have fun with what you have, because that's the bottom line with this stuff. And if you're not having fun with it, I hope the dollar amount and the fun factor can somehow even out. All right, good night.